him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-macabre! Hey, it's time. You know what time it is. It's time for the only news that matters. In a new video below, Zakk Wylde joined Joshua Toomey and talked to me to discuss all the things he's up to. And by the way, a side note, Joshua Toomey is an awesome dude. I know him personally. We met up in Nashville at the Rockin' Pod. He's a great guy. And when I had the falling out with Ian and I quit our podcast, Ian went with Josh and failed miserably. But I came back because I missed Ian and I love Ian. And Ian is funnier than me. You got to check out the Rock and Metal Combat podcast in case you haven't, because Ian rules. But anyway, let's get back to the story. Zakk expresses admiration for Dimebag Darrell, unique writing style and chord choices. Comparing him to other greats like Jimi Hendrix and Randy Rhoads, they note the interesting and unconventional aspects of Dime's composition, highlighting how his choices made the music distinctive. Zakk enjoyed discovering the deeper nuances in Dime's work, which put him in the same league as other legendary guitarists. Zakk recalls his appearance on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, describing it as hilarious and the most ridiculous thing he has ever seen. He was asked to do a reading for the show, which he found hilarious, despite not being very familiar with it beforehand. Reflecting on playing in the round on tour with Metallica and Pantera, he described the challenges of performing without stage monitors and adapting to various settings. Despite technical issues and the enormity of the shows, Wylde enjoyed the experience and emphasized that the importance of entertaining the entire audience. When asked what goes through his mind when the curtain falls down and he and his bandmates launch into the opening riff of a new level every night, Zakk said, "Oh, it's awesome. I love every second of the show. From the beginning to the end, man. Obviously, when we're doing Floods, my favorite Dimebag solo, I get pretty choked up doing that one. Especially the end bit, the outro of Dime. Because it's just me by myself and I don't see the video screens that are behind me. But obviously, when I've seen the footage of it, it's just like, wow. There's just pretty much not a dry eye in the house on that one. Yeah, I definitely get choked up doing that one when we do Floods. Everybody in the camp, everybody just gets along great. They're all great people. And I mean, we've all known each other, the fellows in the band, we've known each other, but as far as the whole camp and the crew, we've all known each other from various tours and things. So it's like one gigantic family out there. So I mean, the whole vibe, it's just a beautiful thing. Regarding whether they were any Pantera songs or parts that took them longer to figure out than the rest, Zakk said, "What I just found really awesome was Dime's. I mean, the reason why we're still talking about Dime's greatness and everybody is and all the guys that we love, whether it's King Edward Van Halen, Saint Randy Rhoads, Jimi Hendrix, I mean, all those guys. It's what they wrote. Aside from Dime's great technique and how amazing he was and how fast he could play and everything like that, it's what he wrote. Just like with Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen and everybody. I mean, all the guys we love. But Dime's writing, like his chord choices and everything like that, it was just like, oh wow, that's definitely really cool. So a lot of the unexpected pre-choruses and things like that, it's like, oh wow, I wonder what made him go there. Like, really interesting chord choices. But yeah, for sure. Going through, learning the whole catalog and learning deeper cuts and everything like that, I was like, wow. Man, he likes saying wow a lot, huh? Wow, this one's pretty cool, he continues. I mean, even the pre-chorus to Walk, or just the opening riff. So yeah, that's what I found, learning all the material and everything like that. So for sure. So that to me is what put Dime in that league with the guys we love, whether it's Jimi Hendrix, whether it's Edward Van Halen or Randy Rhoads. It's his writing. This past April, ZAKK told Ultimate Guitar about touring with the reformed Pantera. He says, I feel Dime all the time. Even when we were getting ready to do the Pantera tour in 2022, the early rehearsal, and they were just figuring out how we were going to do this. There'd be signs all over the place, whether it was a license plate that would be like 333, 3 being Dimebag's favorite number, or I'd run into a Dimebag license plate in the middle of nowhere, and it was just like, him just pushing the thing along, willing it to happen. So he's just always around. When we were in New York, just like Signs, when we did a headline show at Madison Square Garden in February, my wife, Barbara Ann, was like, check this out. Something came up and it just reminded us of Dime. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Wow, wow, wow. Or we would look on our phones and it would be like 333 was on it. It's just these signs everywhere. And I could see Dime just doing it. Going, I hope these idiots realize it's me sending these signs. All right, so there you go. Zakk Wylde says that Dimebag is up there with Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen. And yeah, I totally would agree with that. I mean, as far as guitar heroes go, game changers, it's Hendrix and it's Eddie Van Halen. As far as game changers. And also, I have to throw in Yngwie Malmsteen. Whether you like him or not, when he first busted into the scene, it was like, who the hell is this guy? But then Yngwie kind of like, kept repeating himself. So you can't put him up as game changers, even though he is a game changer. But Zakk and Dimebag, man, listen to the guitar solo and Domination and Floods. The guy was beyond amazing. Even go back to the early albums, Killer, off Project in the Jungle. The guy he deserves to be up there. But then there's other people I think that deserve to be up there as well, like Gary Moore and Alan Holdsworth and Sean Lane may be, in my opinion, the greatest guitar player technically. He was a freak of nature. And Dimebag was awesome too. The guy that, I'll never forget watching Dimebag and doing those, those weird noises out of his guitar. It was just phenomenal to see Dimebag. He really was a major rager talent, And would he be around today? I say, the only way Dimebag would be around today is if he quit drinking. Because I think that would have done him in if it wasn't for that scumbag in Cleveland, Because Dime really, Phil said it, man. Dime would wake up with the shakes and have to drink. He was a heavy drinker, man. But, man, I love me some Pantera. I'm not one of these people, I only like the early stuff, or I only like the later stuff. I love it all, from Metal Magic to Reinventing the Steel. I love all that stuff. All of it. Terry Glaze was awesome, man. Power metal was awesome. My favorite, I have to say, it's Far Beyond Driven. That's my favorite Pantera album, but actually, I love every album they did. They have, in my opinion, a perfect discography, even though it sounds like two different bands. That early stuff, which people call Glam Terra, where I don't really agree that it was glam. The look was glammy, but the music really wasn't. It was Judas Priest, and I hear some early Def Leppard. I hear a lot of crazy stuff. And as far as guitar solos, even back on Metal Magic, what was he? Like 16 years old? The guy was a beast. I love me some Dimebag. I love me some Pantera. And I did see Pantera with ZAKK. I've seen him so many times back in the day, but I did see him once. My brother got me free tickets. And I gotta say, Phil was amazing. Phil nailed it. I mean, he wasn't jumping around, he's standing still, but he was singing amazing. Rex is awesome at what he does. Charlie, a beast on drums. But it wasn't quite as, spot on as Vinny, but still, it was cool. ZAKK, on the other hand, I don't think is a good replacement. I mean, I remember that night. I didn't think he sucked. He played well, but he is not at the level, in my opinion, of Dimebag. After that show, when I got home, I went on YouTube and typed in, just regular people out there doing Dimebag guitar solos. And I saw people, even a chick, which I sound sexist by saying that, but I didn't mean it in a sexist way, but even a girl did a solo. I think she did Domination or something. Way better than ZAKK. All these people I saw online played better than ZAKK, but, everybody wanted ZAKK. Way back, when it was first mentioned for a reunion, and Vinnie Paul was dead set against it. You can see it on YouTube. But it wasn't Pantera, but it was a tribute. Like I said, I didn't walk out of that show thinking, hey, I just saw Pantera. No, I saw a Pantera tribute with two members of the classic lineup. So there you go. What do you all think? Would you put Dimebag way up there? Even if you hate Pantera, which I know a lot of haters. Hey, my band, Thrash or Die, everybody in the band hated Dimebag. All of them hated it. But they couldn't deny he was an amazing guitar player. I know a lot of Pantera haters that call them Panterable will say, they suck. But Dime was a good guitar player. Damn right he was. Leave it in the comments below what you feel. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that. And please, if you are subscribed to my channel, make sure you're still subscribed, because people get unsubscribed for no reason, and that blows. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em on cob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston, and so never more shall we see you again.